ain't right to the side sex. Leave the fire and the roof style stuff. On the grind like we're chasing the stars. From Millmore to Dew Valley, we've come so far. Talk about legends, yeah, we know the score. Ronnie and Bobby, we remember you more. From the highs of the Wembley fight to losing our trousers, still we ignite. Red and white with the pride, we're never gonna bow. Fighting like middlemen, hear the roar now. We're middlemen, we stand up tall. Through ups and downs, we give it all. From Millmore to Dew Valley.
Hello and good evening and welcome to Terrace Talk. I'm your host, King Bush, and we've got another defeat to talk about. So we'll run through our guests tonight again. So we've got Bez with us. How you doing, Bez?
Yeah, good evening, lads. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You good, Lee?
Yeah, I'm fantastic apart from Rotherham. Other than that, I'm great. We've got Tom with us. How you doing, Tom?
All right, Lee. Good lad. Doing like really well. I think positive signs definitely. Lol. Anyway, let's have a good show.
And we welcome back Terrace Talk legend John, who's got a arm in a cast.
I have.
I don't know how he's done it. Probably.
I said, John, what have you actually done then? What did you do?
Fractured my elbow. But anyway, we're here to talk about Rotherham. Nice to be back, lads. Let's have a good show up the Millers.
Super. We got a lot watching already. Evening, I would say I'll have my kind of Carlsberg ready, but I have better taste than that. Nobody's into Carlsberg. Evening, hope everyone is okay. Look forward to a great show. Welcome back, John. So yeah, John, Alan Sugar looks fuming, looks like he's been in the wars. Tom looks fuming also.
This is my normal face.
Well, there you go. So we'll start with it. Stockport, another defeat. We didn't get, as usual, one half of good football. We got two halves of crap football this time rather than just the one. So I'll start with Bez, obviously. At the game, what were your thoughts? Where did you think it all went wrong?
Yeah, so as you said, Lee, we didn't even get a good 10 or 15 minute spell, which we normally get. Where it went wrong, I don't know. It's the same issues as every other game that we've been in, really. At half time, it was a fairly even game in the first half. And guess what? Their manager, he makes a couple of changes. Our manager doesn't do anything. I suppose our manager would argue that the players he's got on bench aren't fit. As in they're not ready to play. That'll be his excuse. But their two changes made a massive difference. The number 10, he looked quite good actually when he came on, and he was kind of beating that fullback quite easily. I think the goal. I think Dawson was at fault. First of all, he came out to punch it, and he could have easily caught it, and he punched it straight to Norwood. And then if you look at the goal. It trickles over the line, and he doesn't even dive for it, and I don't know why. He's starting to really annoy me, Dawson, and I'm going to almost go down the route of he's one of the worst goalkeepers I've ever seen at Rotherham. That's where I'm at with it now. Tactically, he tried the same as he did at Wimbledon, and I guess the only positive, which we all are going to agree on, is the fact that Dan Gore was excellent. He was absolutely superb. He ran the midfield. He really suits that, deep line playmaker role. And you could even see he was getting frustrated at the end. I can't remember, there's one particular moment where he had the ball, he looked up, no one to pass to, ends up turning back. All of a sudden, he's got three Stockport players on him, and he loses the ball, or the ball goes out of play, or something like that. And he puts his hands up, like, where is everyone? So even he's getting frustrated, and that's a massive concern. We need to keep that as happy as possible, because without him, we're even worse off than what we are now. So yeah, overall, not very good at all. Poor performance. The work ethic that you've seen there for me either. And then last thing I will mention is Coyote. I don't know how he's got this football club still. He's not even good enough to get in a conference team. He should be at Man Nate's second team, Whitby Town. That's not his level. So yeah, unhappy. Unhappy Miller here.
Rotherham Gaming, dog shit, no fight. We was promised fight from Matt Hamshaw though, Tom. So where was the fight? What went wrong? And Bez, would you say, just a quick one for Bez, would you say Hamshaw is one of the worst managers you've had?
He's up there because the thing with Hamshaw is, and if you like compare Hamshaw to, for example, Richardson, right? So I thought Richardson was one of the worst ones I'd ever had, but at least Richardson was in a higher level. In other words, a higher, more difficult league. And I actually think the chairman has backed Hamshaw. I really do. Can he do more, the chairman? Yeah, of course he can. But I do think he's backed him. They've signed a few players up to £1 million, which is a lot for Rotherham. And he's letting him bring extra players in when we've had injuries. You know, the Tom Holmes defender, he weren't going to come in at all. We only brought him in because we've got 3 or 4 centre-backs injured. So he's definitely been backed. I think, and a lot of people are going to say it as well, it doesn't help that he's obsessed with the same formation. Like, yeah. I think that's going to kill him. You know, the fact that he's not changed. Now, I actually don't mind the 3-back, personally, but I can see it's clearly not working. And the fact he's so stubborn, I think that's going to work against him. So to answer your question, Poppy, yeah, I'm afraid I would say he's one of the worst managers I've seen, yeah.
I mean, for me, obviously, the worst manager I've seen watching Rotherham was Danny Bagara.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same league, yeah.
He was absolutely awful. And then I would say probably Alan Stubbs. I thought that tenure. Neil Redfern as well. Neil Redfern was bad.
But again,
really
to fair to Alan Stubbs, though, it was a higher league. And we all know the championship's a lot more difficult. And I would go as far as saying that Stubbs had no budget to it at all. That's how he ended up with 3 transfers. So if he'd have got a bit more of a budget, I'd have done a better
job. Peter Scott, I think let our squad fit in and see what happens. Let our squad get fit and see what happens. No excuses then. So obviously there is this excuse that we've got players injured. Although Stockport had more players injured than we had at the weekend. So I just think football now is a squad game. I don't think you can, if you've got a weak squad, that's your problem. You know that you're going to have injuries. Everybody has injuries through the season. You've got to deal with them best you can. And for me, even with injuries, the formation and the tactics are the problem. I don't care if we've got all them players fit. We're still losing that football game. I believe that because the 3 at the back is not working. He is so stubborn, he will not change it. He doesn't change his tactics. I said at half time, I tweeted it out. I said, their manager, straight away, it was a drab first half. Both teams were poor. What did he do? The manager brought 2 players on who changed the game. It happened last week at Wimbledon. It's happened this week at home. Matt Hamshaw sat there like a porcelain dummy, does nothing, expects the same results. Well, sorry, you're going to get beat again. On to you, Tom. You give me your thoughts, mate, because I'm going to feel like I'm going to end up with a rant in a minute.
Sorry, Tom. Just Tom, before you start. Sorry, just that Kelly who's put that message up there, a bit early to say he's the worst manager we've had. Well, I would like to see what his win record is, and I bet it's one of the worst win records as a manager. So actually, if it is one of the worst win records, then it's a fact that he will end up being one of the worst managers. Sorry, Tom.
No, you're fine, Paul. You're fine. My thoughts on it is, this cannot go on. This is atrocious. And as a caveat here, I want to say I don't think Matt Hamshaw's a a bad person. I think he's a lovely bloke. His dad's a big Rotherham United fan. However, it just is not working. At one point on Saturday, we were playing I might try it on Football Manager later. Actually, the 3-7-0 formation, which is just unforgivable. I mean, you're 1-0 down at home to Stockport County, right? And you take your target man off, who once again gets no decisions. And then what we were doing, what was the actual plan there? Did Richard Wood come and whisper in his ear, do you know what, Matt? Should we take our main striker off and play 3 at the back and play 7 in midfield? And who knows who the false 9 could be? I don't know. It is utterly awful. And I don't think anybody... If I was Matt Hamshaw post-match... I'm a Rotherham fan. I'm Rotherham through and through, right? And if I was harming my football club, right, I would take a step back and say, look, there's not a great deal I can do here. We've done this injuries line for, the last few weeks, but it ain't getting any better. We barely beat Exeter, who are the worst team in the league, in my opinion. Well, the worst team certainly we've faced, and that's saying something. But second they scored that goal, flappy hands, and then didn't even bother trying to save it, and then like, oh, whatever, right? Do you know what? I just knew we weren't going to score, and then we did score, and it was offside. I think it was offside, to be fair. I think Coletta did wander off. But there's just no belief anymore. I mean, like, back in the day I hate to go back into the past. I hate it because we need to look forward, not into the past, all that. But if we went 1-0 down when Evans was in charge first time round, you thought, do you know what, we can get back into this because we've got a pattern of play, we've got a never say die attitude. Same with Warnock, same with, to some extent, Paul Warne, certainly in League One. But I'm seeing Nout, and I think, I don't know where we go from here. I mean, I've been quite firmly the last 2 weeks, we need to replace the manager. And I couldn't even be more firmer now. We need to replace it because it's just not. Football is a results business. It's not good enough. If we go down League Two, right? And I've heard somebody say, and we all know about, if we can go down to League Two, we can keep all these players together. We can rebuild. No,
none of them players are staying in League Two. Let's be real.
Of course they're not, Lee. Of course they're not, League. Who's going to stay in League Two with Rotherham? Right?
Let me just put a few comments, Tom, just quickly, because we're getting quite a lot of comments in. At least you're honest, unlike others. It clearly isn't working with Hamshaw. How long can they keep him on for? You need a big change of manager. A poor
just
manager.
Just on that as well is a good point. It's not just the manager. I don't know what Richard Wood's doing in this club. I've no idea what he's doing either.
Owen, another spineless, embarrassing performance. The Turtle Head says Phil Ensign was shocking amongst others, but Phil Ensign did win a promotion, I would say, on that one. There's going to be no one at the Bradford game, Callum or UFC.
It's a Thursday night as well.
Got some sense on here. It's Stubbs all over again, isn't it? It is Edward. Exactly like Stubbs. He doesn't seem to have a clue. And I don't see any passion in him. I don't see him on the touchline going mad at these players. And then actually, I said it pre-season, he had no ambition. It were a case of, we're just going to rebuild this season. We're Rotherham United in League One. We're big hitters in this level. Yeah, we should be challenging for the top half, playoffs minimum. Yeah, so people slagged Steve Evans off for saying it, but at least Evans had that want to get there. I don't think this man has. I think he accepts we're average, and that's what we're going to get. And if you don't like it, well, it's tough. And I'll blame everybody else. I'll blame injuries. I'll blame whatever. I'll blame Steve Evans, although I picked more of his players than my own players because they're sat on the bench. So you've signed players that aren't as good as his players. So I don't get where he's going. I think he's lost the plot. I think he's lost the fan base. The fans are turning away in the droves. So whether you like it or not, people saying, oh, I think it's too early, and people clamouring for Mr. Matt from Rawmarsh and his family. Well, they're not turning up to games. So as chairman, that's what they look at. They're not bothered about opinions on social media or whatever, but what they are bothered about is when it hurts them in the pocket, when people start turning up. And that's already started. There was over 2,500 missing from the same fixture last season. Where have them people gone? That would be my question. And to be honest with you, the football is so poor, it is untrue. Pete Scott, we need 4-3-3 formation. It will work, but he's too stubborn and won't play it. 3 more games, if no changes, sack him, Rotherham game him. No players will stay if you go to League Two. Everyone with a brain knows this. Well, yeah, but obviously people on the other platforms don't really have that mental capacity. But there you go. It is what it is. They get triggered and upset. Does Anshaw actually care about his team or just his ego? I don't really know. I think he's just out of his depth. He's happy to be a manager. For me, if Anshaw cared and loved the club, he'd do the honourable thing and walk away, because he is absolutely killing this football club at the moment. John Fellows, Dawson, Jules and James are constantly a liability. We've only scored in 50% of the games, an average a goal every 120 minutes at the other end. Ooh. Shocking. That's a great point from John Fellows. Average a goal every 120 minutes. It is pathetic. On to you, John. You was at the game. You come out cold, looking miserable, but you've still joined us tonight with a smile on your face. So that's good to see. Where did it all go wrong? As soon as you
I think well, to touch on a few points, I think you said about it not working back at Wimbledon. Actually, if you look at the games, it hasn't worked since Port Vale, the first game, because we had an extra man. And we just didn't take advantage of it. So these issues haven't been even from Wimbledon. I think the issues with the tactics have been right from the beginning of the season. We could have took full advantage of Port Vale, didn't. Anyway, Saturday, and I said it in my post-match interview. Yeah, you wanted to say something, sorry, Lee.
No. I was listening to you.
Oh, so as I said in my post-match interview, when it rains, it pours, and it feels like it's a torrential downpour in Rotherham right now. I don't think the tactics are working. Completely agree with that. There's no fight. We've got Poppadom, Hans, Dawson in goal. And I've said this from day one. Unfortunately, when you've got no competition for a goalkeeper, we will go all through the season having mistake after mistake after mistake, and then him going, well, actually, it's just Dawson. He's my mate. I'm going to let him play. But if we had competition, and we can't say Can's competition, I'm sorry, he's not. An actual number 2 that will fight Dawson for a place as a number 1, you'd see changes. But I actually don't think Hampshire will make a change in the goalkeeping department. The defence, again, we've got Jules who's making error after error, yellow cards after yellow cards. Like I said, the only standout person, I think we've all agreed with this, is Dan Gore. And I feel if he leaves and gets recalled in January, and we've got he's the strings, right, of the team. You can see he's pulling everything around him. He's 3 steps ahead. I cannot see a way forward if we lose Dan Gore. Even if we have a fit Sheriff, even if we have a Tete back, I can't see this team saying, let's kick on. What about all these team members we've got now? Who do you look to and say, who's getting us out of this bottom 4? I can't say a single person, unfortunately. I cannot see these tactics or the energy from the team saying, let's push on, let's actually it's all well and good saying, oh, we've got Mansfield on Saturday. It's too late. We've already lost 1-0 to Stevenage, and they weren't brilliant, by the way. They've had one attack, and it's the same goal. Cross it in, header. Rinse, repeat. and it's getting tiring.
I'll put this out to everybody on the panel and everybody in the chat. Name me a game this season where we've been the better team the whole game. We haven't. I can't name one. I mean, everybody goes on about, oh, we've played this. I mean, Doncaster. We lost to Doncaster. Yeah? They're getting slapped up. Last 2 in a row now they've been slapped up. Then they weren't a good team. I said they weren't a good team at the time. Wimbledon are not a good team. We have played crap teams, and they're higher in the league because they've beaten us.
The only decent team we've played, Lee, for my money, right, would be Cardiff City.
And they played us off the park. Absolutely.
They played us off the park. That's the only good team, right? So the concerning thing is, the rest of the shit that we've played, right? Sorry to swear, right? I've not been that good, but they beat us. So, where are we at?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. Owen, 650 tickets sold for Mansfield on Saturday, 45 minutes down the road. Sends a big message.
Yeah, it was 1,500 last week, yeah.
Even other platforms said they don't want Revel as manager. Awful football and second in the league. Mind-boggling. Yeah, I'd sooner play awful football and be second in the league, but Revel isn't the one that I would personally go for. But we will discuss that later in the show to discuss who we will. Cardiff are the only team in this league. Everyone else is crap. Totally agree with you, Callum. I don't think there's anybody to fear in this league. Anyone can beat anybody. And that's the most concerning thing. That is that we're not performing. Hello, Luton fan here. Don't worry, you'll get 6 points off us this season. David the Hatter. We won't, mate. I hope we do, but I don't think we do. My dad, he says, you're either a Miller or you're not. End of. Yeah, my dad keeps moaning that I'm too negative about Rotherham, and he feels that I should be a bit more positive towards the club. But unfortunately, what I'm seeing with my eyes, I can't stop coming out of my mouth.
Can you get your dad on, Lee?
And I might get him on, but I'm going to try and keep the language clean tonight because obviously, if my mum's listening as well, I'll get a backhander. But what I'm watching currently is verbal diarrhea. I can put it into words. It is just absolute rubbish. People just assume we won't go down, but I bet Bradford, Donny and Chesterfield thought that once upon a time. Could take years to come back if we go down. Totally agree. That's a great post by B. Yeah, it's just frustrating at the moment that we are performing the way we're performing. And if you could see something, a little beacon of something to hold your hat on, other than Dangor, which doesn't belong to Rotherham United. Yeah. So the guy that's putting the most effort in, the most ability, trying the hardest, isn't even owned by the football club. And that's a sad state. Respect to Dangor because he's been absolutely fantastic. So we're going to jump on to player ratings now. So hopefully my player rating things work. So we're going to start. Well, I'm going to start and I'm going to give my take on Dawson because I'm actually going to be a little bit controversial with Dawson because he's getting the majority of the stick. And I think a lot of it, I think he's a poor goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's Victor Johansson or anything like that. But what I'm saying is he's a standard League One goalkeeper. So Dawson, as you can see, Foot Mob made him joint man of the match. They give him 7.7, I think it was. Joint man of the match with Dangor.
Wow.
Yeah, joint man of the match with Dangor with Foot Mob. I don't blame him for the goal. I don't. I think with the conditions and the balls the way they are at the moment, even the top goalkeepers in the world, you look at Donnarumma, They punch it out because the balls are too unpredictable. The weather was so bad at the weekend. If he'd have caught that and dropped it, the stick he would have got is far worse than what he got where he punched it. And to be fair, he got a decent punch on it because it went out of the area. So then we don't defend the second phase of that punch for me, and then the player gets a free header. Yeah, he doesn't dive, but mate, it's a point blank header where they've just whipped the ball in. I'm looking at the defence there. How's he got that crossing? I don't think he's a great goalkeeper. I can't defend him week after week because I don't think he's fantastic. But I would say he's just an average League One goalkeeper. I think we've got bigger problems than just Cam Dawson. I would give him a standard 6 for the game. I'll go to you, Bez.
Well, I'd obviously disagree with what you're saying. The reason why I get your point about the punch. You know, he's made a decision.
You look at Donnarumma, he punches it out. He did it at the weekend. They all do. The balls are too unpredictable.
It's the fact that you only punch it when you're going into a crowd of players. And if you watch him, he doesn't go into a crowd of players. There's only like one Rotherham player and one Stockport player within like a yard of him. And that's why I felt he could have caught it. Like, I get it. If it was like a big group of players, then punch it, fine. But he didn't. It was literally one Rotherham player, one Stockport player. And no one really challenges him. He just punches it. And you say it's a good punch. Yes, it's out of the area, but he actually punches it almost down and it goes straight to their player. So I'm not sure about that either. I get your point about the header. Look, he's going the wrong way, and although the header's slow and near him, he is wrong-footed. So I do understand that. Yeah, he deserves at least a 6 because he did make 3 or 4 saves. They had 3 or 4 shots what he had to save, so he does deserve a 6. Yeah.
Dawson, aka the Jigsaw. Andrew Jones, not rubbing it in. I'm a Stockport fan, but you were very poor on Saturday. Keeper could do with the rest. Yeah, Andrew, I thought Stockport was poor as well. I thought it were 2 poor teams, struggling low on confidence. I thought Stockport deserved the win. I'm not disputing that, but I thought Stockport were to what come to us. Last season we drew 1-1 with them, and that Stockport that come last season were a way better team.
I agree with that.
We were lucky to get a point on that day.
They were playoff pushing, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they were a lot better team on that one. Rotherham Gaming gives him a 1. John Fellows a 3.4. The photo of him, the screen has moved more tonight than him.
I like that.
That's quite good. That's quite good.
Go on, Tom. What's your ratings? Are we in agreement of a 6? Surely.
For Dawson.
Yeah.
Well, six to me means
average,
doesn't it? So, what I will say, we've been spoilt, haven't we? We've been spoilt for the last few years. We've had Marek Rodak, we've had Iverson, we've had Josh Vickers, we've had obviously the Viking, and now this lad's got a lot to live up to be honest with you, hasn't he? He's nowhere, he couldn't lace their boots, but at the same time, like you said, Lee, he's just your standard League One goalkeeper. So, yeah, do you know what? I'll give him a 6.
John, you happy with a 6?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say is, and I think you have a fair point with the weather, but maybe, and I'm just thinking after the game a bit logically, are we giving Dawson a lot more stick than he should be getting because the defence is actually... like you say, to build up to the goal, the cross could have been stopped. That someone challenged
a free header in the box, whichever way
Dawson's getting. Yeah, Dawson's getting a lot of the flack, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
5, 6. I wouldn't go any higher.
I'm not a professional goalkeeper, but a ball gets whipped in, a point blank header, teaming it down with rain. I don't think he had much choice. Whether he dove or not, I don't think he would get in there. I mean, like you say, he's no Victor Johansson, so he's gonna struggle. John Fellow's comment is the best of the night. I think it were. I think Bez nearly fell off his chair, to be fair. Turbo Tom on the turbo pints.
One thing about Dawson, by the way, nothing to do with the defenders. His kicking's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous, his kicking.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he kicked it out of stand about 4 times.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
On to the next one then, Joe Rafferty. What we're scoring him. So let me have a quick look at FootMob. Scored Jeff Rafferty a 6.01. Just average, run of the mill.
Well,
did nothing wrong, didn't do
average
anything.
game.
Average.
Yeah.
Average game.
We all agree with that, yeah.
Rotherham Gaming 6.
So he didn't do anything wrong, did he? Can anyone remember him doing anything wrong?
I don't know if I think
No.
I think we're all in agreement at 6 for Rafferty. Zach Jules. So Zach Jules also he got slightly more. He got a 6.8 with FootMob. Are we in agreement with that, or
I'd say lower, a lot lower. Yeah. I'd go 4, 5.
I felt that Jules out of the defence, he was the one who struggled the most. He just looks so sloppy, and he looks like a deer in headlights. He just he's got no composure, and I find that he you got like a back 3 or a back 4, whatever it is, and you're supposed to keep tight and keep level. He's the sort of player who runs out and tries to close down a midfielder or something like that. I'm actually not a big fan of Jules. Over the last couple of weeks, I've become not really a fan of him. And I think if we've got all our players fit, he don't get in the side. Yeah. So I'd give him a 5.
I think for me, it's
lower than that. We've got
I think for me,
Gaming a 4, Jonathan Blundell a 3. Jules at the fault for the goal, lost his man, turning circle of an oil tanker, always got a yellow card.
I agree with that, yellow card, always.
I think Jonathan, is it Blundwell? Jonathan Blundwell, he has hit the nail on the head there. That's a great comment. He doesn't seem... It reminds me a bit like Cohen Bramall, but not as quick. But the football IQ of the man is just not there.
Agreed.
He thinks, what the hell is this? What do I do with it? It doesn't feel like he's very comfortable with a football at his feet. Andrew Jones, fair point. We played Cardiff off the park the previous week, and they scored a 96-minute winner. Equaliser, shows how open this league is. Yeah, like I said, Andrew, I think any team can actually beat any team, and that's the worrying thing, is that we ain't got the mentality to even win winnable games. We're just not winning winnable games in such a poor league, and that's what makes this really focus on the manager out of his depth. So, what are we agreeing on that? Are we going to say a 5?
What do you think, Lee? What were your rating of him?
For me, I think he was poor again. He lost his man numerous times. When other players at the back have got the ball, they play it through the midfield. He seems to just kick it anywhere, or he loses possession and it goes back to the opposition. I just feel like he can be a bit of a liability at times. I did kind of, and I think, to be honest, this is one where I definitely say Evans got more out of Zach Jules.
Agreed. Agreed.
It didn't seem to be as poor as this previously. When he got injured, we missed him last season, because I thought he did all right last season. But this season, I don't know if Hamshaw's been nasty to him, or bullying him, or not training him, letting him turn. I don't know something may be going off there. They may not be doing any training at Roundwood. He may be giving him the afternoons off to go and play paddleball, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? You don't know what's going off there. Maybe something dodgy going on. Is there a power cut in Scotland? Yeah, I think Turbo's lost his sixth.
What were you going to say, John, about Jules? You were going to say something?
Yeah, I'll just quickly touch because I know time's not our friend, but I think Jonathan's mentioned it. I think for me, it's the yellow card, the needless yellow cards. I think that's the third yellow card in a row now he's got for a silly tackle or tugging the shirt back. And I just think for me, it doesn't install any confidence in your back 3 or 5 when you've got somebody just going, I'm going to tug him back, get a free kick, or I just don't see it. I can't see him. Like, hopefully you're right, Dave. If Agber comes back, he doesn't get into the team. But, I don't know with Matt. You probably start him, just to spite everyone.
Just a quick few comments again. So, RUFC_UK, evening, lads. Going off what I said earlier on Twitter, I don't really know why we sit back in League One, but don't go at teams. Thanks for the tweet of the week. Yeah, we're going to go through tweet of the week after as well, mate. So we will bring that up. But it was a great point that this guy made. Basically, have I got him back there? Yeah, he's back.
I never realised I was off. Cheers for having commented.
People say Hampshire is a good coach, but has he improved any players that's played under Evans? Powell, James, Jules, etc. look worse. Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. That's a great post, B. He's done quite a few good posts tonight as B. He has come out with talking a lot of sense there. And I think especially Powell, his drop-off has been mind-blowing. And people are saying, he's had a baby. So has Dan Gore. Dan Gore's had a baby, and his performances haven't dropped off. So, So we'll go on to the next player then. So Baptiste, Rotherham Gaming says a 7 for Baptiste. I thought he was the better, to say his age as well, I think he was the best of the bad bunch at back. I'd probably give him a 7 as well, same as Rotherham Gaming. Let me just have a look what FootMob give him. So FootMob gave him a 6.5. So
that's good.
Are we agreeing on a 7 or any takers on that?
Yeah, 6 and 7. I mean, no one played well, but I agree with Uli. I think he was the best out of the 3 centre backs.
Yeah, I do like how he brings it out as well, and he's a bit more cultured than say Zach Jules. Bushy has a shirt for every team just in case. He's looking forward to wearing a Leeds shirt. Yeah, I lost my bet on the other one, so on Thursday night show I've got to wear a Leeds United shirt. So there we go.
What I would say about Baptiste is if we
as a 7. Sorry, John. Let me just quickly do these ones and I'll let you speak. Sorry. 7, tried to bring the ball forward, offered some threat. Yeah, John, that's exactly what I said. Go on, John. Sorry. What were you saying there?
What I would say is if he's fit and Baptiste and Agber's fit, who would be our third centre back that you guys would say? Because him and Agber I'd love to see together.
It's a good question. If all centre backs were fit, for me, Baptiste doesn't get in again. So I would go. Tom Holmes has got to play, and I think Agber's got to play. So your last one is what? It's between Baptiste, it's between Jules, it's between Rafferty. Who else am I missing? Centre half. I think there's an obvious centre half who's injured that I'm missing, and that's why I wouldn't choose Baptiste.
Only missing at the minute is Holmes.
Raggett.
Raggett, that's it. Raggett, yeah. So my 3 would be Raggett, Agber, and Holmes.
Okay.
My 3, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'd love to see them two together, though.
So we all agree
would be immense.
7.
Yes.
Yeah, happy with that, yeah.
Next one, Reece James, defies opinion. Another one player that I think has got worse under Matt Hampshire, but he got a 6.8 by FootMob. What are we guys saying? What are you saying in the chat?
The thing with James is, I agree that someone did put it in the chat earlier, I think, about he's a bit of a liability because he does make stupid and rash challenges. There was a period last season where I think he gave a penalty in 3 consecutive games. I'm sure he did. But what I do like about James is, and I've said it before, his distribution is one of the best I've ever seen. He don't just whack it down line. He will play a ball into midfield or into the striker's feet. And he did it a couple of times when we were in the Fresh on Saturday. Now, unfortunately, the striker you were giving it to was bloody Coyote, and he kept losing the ball. But I actually don't mind James if he plays left wing back, I think he'll do a good job because he's good distribution, he's got a decent cross on him, and he has scored the odd goal. Well, I agree, you can't play him at left centre back because he is very rash and he makes poor decisions defensively. So playing left wing back, and I think he's all right.
Rotherham Gaming says he's a 1, like a drum, gets beat a lot. Fair play. John Blundell, 4. Not a wing back, steady League 1 fullback. Yeah, I think Bez has just alluded to that. I think if you play him in the correct position, he's a steady League 1 fullback.
Yeah.
But at the minute,
Yeah.
I think he's getting exposed, and I think it's quite cruel.
He's been asked to play at left centre back, hasn't he? Not every game, but some games he's played left centre back. He's
not tall enough for centre back either.
Exactly.
That's why we keep conceding goals, because he keeps getting beat in air. He's about 4'2".
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, Tom, would you agree? What are we saying for this guy? A 5 below average?
I don't know. It's just underwhelmingly, isn't it? I mean, 5, 4.4, 5. It's too small. Played out of position. Whatever. He's in the wrong system. I think he's given up on his manager. Yeah, 4, 5. Yeah.
Super.
Garbage.
Right. So on to my man of the match, and I think everybody's man of the match. Absolute baller this kid is. What a footballer this guy is. Dango. For me, I would give him a 9. I think he would get a 10 if he got a goal or an assist, but because he didn't get on the... But he tried to carry that football club and that team on his shoulders. And by the end of it, he got frustrated because players around him just wasn't making the movement. The guy is way too good to be playing in League One. He's definitely a top-end championship player. For me, people raved about Dan Barlaser. This guy is 10 times the player Dan Barlaser was. 10 times the player. I think he will end up playing in the Premiership, and if he doesn't, he will be playing top-end championship football. And I know people will frown at the Barlaser comparison, but what I'm going to tell you is Dan Barlaser left to go to Middlesbrough. He couldn't establish himself in Middlesbrough's first team. He is now playing at Hibernian. Okay, Dango will not end up playing for a team like that. He's only coming out on loan. Man United do rate the kid. They were there watching him at the weekend. I think looking at that, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, I'm recalling him. I'm going to send him out on a championship loan in January because he's going to get hurt playing for this team, because some of the balls that he was getting given back were hospital balls, and some of the movement he were making other players just wasn't on the wavelength. So in the end, he got frustrated because he was just having to run at him. The guy must have been shattered. He was absolutely everywhere. Rotherham Gaming says a 9, agrees with me. Anybody disagree with me that is a 9?
Yeah, 8 or 9. That's just like you said, he couldn't get any higher because there were no assist or no goal. And what I would say, it's not his own fault. I felt he ran out of steam as well after that 70 minutes. And I know why, but if he didn't run out of steam, I might have given him that 9. So I'm actually going to go for an 8 for him.
I would go. I agree with Bez, an 8. And as I've stated previously, don't fall in love with this kid because he's gone. If we ain't playoffs, as I said in my post-match, he's gone. He's either going to go I bet you Chris Wilder's having a look at him. Chris Wilder, he'd fit perfectly in Sheffield United. We ain't going to have him past Christmas, I'm afraid. But yeah, 8.5 for me.
Yeah. Why do Rotherham have no academies? Kids play. They can be brilliant at times. We had one play that come through as academy, and his name were Coyote, and I'll get on to him a little bit later, but he was absolutely horrendous. Do Rotherham even have an academy? May as well not, 'cause it's category as bad as Maltby Main. So
they've not got an academy.
Yeah, so Jonathan Sheard agrees as well that obviously it was a 9. Bet United will have him. They have everyone else. He belongs to United, Phil, so they can have him if they want him because he's owned by Manchester United. He is on loan from Manchester United. But the kid is a baller, and just enjoy him. He's the only person that is worth the entry fee for me in that team. The rest of them, I wouldn't care if they all got sold tomorrow and shipped off anywhere because the mentality of this team is just rock bottom. Joe Powell.
Do you know what I was thinking? Sorry, real quick. I know time. What I was thinking, I was thinking of it when we were talking just to build up. But he's the only player, and it's funny. He's not a Rotherham United player that, for me, is bringing out the Rotherham United ways. He's got the passion, he's got the vision, and he's got the commitment. Nobody else in that team. And you know, Matt Shamshaw keeps saying, "Oh, we're Rotherham United. We've got to do this." He's the only player, and he doesn't even belong. That's really bizarre that a non-Rotherham United player is buying the Rotherham United vision.
Agreed, John. Agreed.
Adam.
Sorry.
If we go into League 2, don't fall in love with any of our young players. Agbear, Hall, Coletta will all be gone in June. Yeah, but some Muppet said that obviously if we go down to League 2 and keep all his players, he'd be happy. But Muppet, they ain't going to stay if we go down to League 2. We won't be afford to pay the wages because knock another 2,000 off the attendances as well. So Big Tony won't be getting no big cigar because there'll be no money coming in, and those players will be sold. Bear no bones about it. Jonathan Sheard, 4 at best for a Powell. So this is another player, Joe Powell. Massive drop-off. Hamshaw's not getting the best out of him. He were playing better under Steve Evans for me. Mr. Jeff, set him out of my club. We do have an academy, Poppy. We do.
She's not very good.
I think the last decent play we brought out.
Are they all injured?
Well, I think the reason why they've not got a good one is because it costs money to have a good one. You know, in order for them to have a top end academy, that'll cost thousands of pounds, and Stuart's not going to pay for that. He doesn't even want to sign a player for £1 million. Never mind having an academy what costs in money every week.
John Blundell, 4 seems to have lost his ability to play simple pass to his teammates. His set pieces are terrible, and the shot he had on Saturday was tame at best. Yeah. I'm going to say a 4. I think he's been awful. Yep. I mean, some of his...
To be fair, Joe Powell was the only player who had a shot on target on Saturday, though.
Kelly, TS hasn't invested in the academy. That's correct, Kelly. He hasn't invested in the academy, and it is a Cat C, which is highly embarrassing for a League One football club. Actually, we was a Championship club not too long ago as well. So to be a Cat C at Championship level is, mate, Tony Stewart is there. Hang his head in shame at the decline of this football club. And again, he's gone missing. Where is Tony Stewart? Does anybody know? Don't know, because he seems to have gone missing when the chips are down. He's happy season ticket time, but any other time he's not interested. So I think we're in agreement that Joe Powell are 4. We'll go on to Sean McWilliams. I don't think he was fit. I'm going to put it out there now. He's got players that are fully fit, and he's moaning about injuries. I think we risked McWilliams because he was not fully fit. You could tell the way that guy plays. He's everywhere when he's fit. He was hobbling again at the end, so we've probably injured him again. And this is on the manager again. It's poor decision making from the manager. We've got so many midfielders. We're overloaded with midfielders. We don't need to risk injuries. If people aren't fully fit, they shouldn't be starting for me. What about you guys? I mean, I'd give him a 4, same as Joe Powell. I thought he was ineffective. I think he was injured myself, though. Rotherham Gaming says a 6. So we...
Yeah,
I don't
5 for me.
5. He had a fit or not fit. He had a poor game. He weren't himself at all. So 4 or 5 for me.
We're all in agreement. Tom, you in agreement with that one?
Yeah, I agree with you, Lee. I don't think he was fit, but also I don't think it actually mattered in the end because we had no plan. So we could have put whoever we wanted on at any point, and we wouldn't have scored, and we would have definitely conceded. So yeah, do you know what? He's been good as shown, but that game, it looked like, not that he lost interest, but like you say, he was maybe a bit unfit. Maybe, who knows? Garbage.
On to Marthia. God, this is a difficult one. I thought he was very poor as well. Jonathan Sheard, again 5, but not fit at all. I think that was McWilliams. Rotherham Gaming 4 for Marthia. I thought he was in. In fairness to him, I don't know how many times anybody passed it to him, but he didn't do much. He didn't try to get involved. I think he's a bit like, I think everybody's I raved about him when I see him in bits, but when have I actually seen him take on a game? You know, Ogbenny style, a player that really gets a grip of the game. I haven't seen it from this guy. He may, as he gets older, he may do, but he reminds me of I forget the guy's name, Mirandini or whatever he was called.
Jose Mirandina.
Flatter deceive, Paolo Venazza type player. Some weeks can be world class. Next week you're getting him from dog and duck. Very inconsistent. Could end up playing it championship level, or the Imperial Sunday League. That's where it could go for that kid. I don't know. We've spent money on him, so they've got to nurture him. But we haven't got a great setup to nurture young talent anyway. So I don't know what the point of all that is. Everybody's happy with signing young players, but we haven't got the facilities to nurture these players either. So difficult one. I'd give him a 4 personally. Anybody any higher take on a 4?
What I would say, Lee, right, with these player ratings, right? I genuinely, and you three might have a different opinion to me. I think the players are dropping the tools, laying down tools, because it's crap. But look, I'd give him a 4 as well, personally.
4, yeah.
Like you said, Lee, he was down our side the first half, and my mate said that because he actually defended him. He don't normally do, but he defended him, and he said he was completely in the wrong position because he was playing right wing back. So what I would say is you're right, Lee. He didn't get involved in the game at all, but there were a few times where he were open and the ball never came to him, and he were also miles out of position. You know, he's a winger, an attacking winger, not a right wing back. And if he's playing wing back, he's a left wing back as well. So I actually felt sorry for him, to be honest. I'd just give him a 5 because he didn't do anything wrong. And when he did get the ball, he tried to do something. It just never come off, did it? So 5 or 6 for me.
Lee, your views on happy with League 2. Mate, if you're happy with going down to League 2, you're an absolute moron. That's all I'm going to say. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to say any more on that one. Do you think you guys are the worst team in League One at present, or do you actually put it? Down to? Or what do you put it down to? I put it. No, I think we've got the players that can perform if we had the right manager. Tactically, I think we're getting exposed.
Agreed. Completely agree.
I think players. It's interesting to listen to you guys scoring these players. Most of the players you scored low are the players Steve Evans signed. No, the man of the match. The person that got the man of the match was Dan Gore, and Steve Evans originally signed him. So I disagree with that one. So on to the next.
To be fair, Kelly, to be fair, that's because all the players who played were Steve Evans players. We haven't gone through a Hampshire play, have we?
Yeah, because he plays Steve Evans players over his own.
Martha's a Hampshire. Martha's a Hampshire.
And let me just go on to the next jewel in the crown. Joshua Coyote, the man that Matt Hampshire gave a contract to. Matt Hampshire should be sacked alone for giving this moron a contract. He should be working at McDonald's. I wouldn't even put him on desk service. I'd put him at sweeping the tables. The guy's an absolute energy thief. He's an absolute moron of a football player. That touch in the first half was a touch like a baby rhinoceros. Yeah? His first touch is a pass every week. The guy is made out of Play-Doh. If I took him to my mum's house, he'd melt in front of the fire. He's useless. How on earth has he got a contract? That should be a sacking alone. Right, I need my blood pressure tablets, man. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna score him 1.
When I saw the team when I saw the team at 1:45 or 2:00, whatever time it comes out, and Coyote was in the side, I said to my mate, I'm not going to the match. I didn't want to go because they're not. Yeah, honestly, I said to my mate, I didn't want to go. And if I'd been at home, I wouldn't have gone. If I'd have been at home and I were due to watch it, I wouldn't have watched the game because I agree with Lee. This lad is horrendous, absolutely horrendous. Didn't offer anything, and not only that. He's clearly unfit. He's not played football for about a year, right? So not only is he horrendous, he's really unfit as well. He done so. Just one of the worst performances I think I've ever seen for an individual player on Saturday. And if he plays again, I'm going to be really annoyed.
Sorry, I'll just get a couple of comments in.
What I would say is, though, out of all the...
Sorry, John, let me just go through these comments because I'm going to lose them otherwise on the screen. He's a box of tricks, but made out of twigs. I think he's on about Martha. I said mostly they were shocking last year, though. Evans got rightly sacked last year. I'm not defending Steve Evans, but I will not have people blame Steve Evans for this season because he signed 13 players. No. Yeah. Some of those players, he's picking Steve Evans signings over his own signings. What does that tell you? So what Rotherham Gaming give it a 1, same as me. Absolutely. I think 1's being kind, but obviously where we're talking about being decisive and stuff, we have to be careful that we don't score him a 0, I think. But I would personally score him 0. But I feel that I'll give him a 1, the benefit of the doubt that he actually managed to get on the pitch without getting injured, because that's an event in itself for old Joshua. I expected him to walk on and trip over his shin pad or something and wreck his ankle. You know what I mean? He's absolute. The guy's a pudding. He's a waste of contract, waste of space, waste of time. I mean, listen, he's that bad. He won't get him in my 5-a-side team. He's dreadful. And that anybody think he deserves more than a 1? Anybody in the chat disagree with me?
Let John speak. Go on, John.
No, what I was going to say, and I'm just being logically thinking here. Do you think, and I know it's been a few seasons of this poor boy's injury record, but do you think he's so rubbish because of his injury history, or do you think he's just not a natural striker? Because we can say, yeah, he's crap, but he's had long injury list, which hasn't helped his fitness, right? But also, I don't think he's got the attacking awareness either. So for me, I think at some point we've got to say, right, he shouldn't be playing for us. No questions asked. Also, Lee, you make a good point. Why are we re-signing him on a paid-to-play deal or whatever it is? You can see he just hasn't got it as a footballer, and that's sad to see. As a person, you don't want to see people failing, right? But he's just not got it. He hasn't got it.
Take a chill pill, Bushy. C-bombs are coming. Forfeit
No.
if he does, Phil. Bez is losing his head too. Must be a terrible player. Mate, honestly.
Can I say something about JJ? Can I say something about him?
Go on, Tom.
Right.
Positivity.
So, it's not positive-ish. It's maybe ish. Right. So Coyote, right? He was on loan at Carlisle, and obviously, as you might know, I work in used to work in Carlisle, and the Carlisle fans raved about the lad. What Coyote has got, and what we're not utilising, is he's got one hell of a long throw, and I mean one hell of a long throw. So, if you're going to play Hugel and Coyote up top together, right? Why, when we got throw-ins, is Coyote not launching them in?
Yeah,
just as a standard. However, I completely agree. He's got the touch of.
I mean, I feel a bit bad now. Obviously, Phil's mentioned. Feel sorry for the lad. Imagine he's watching this podcast or ends up seeing it on one of your TikTok shorts. Yeah, I mean. What I will say, just in defence of Coyote, is I don't know if I can. In defence of him, it is a
trier. He does try.
Coyote or Georgie Kelly? Coyote or Georgie Kelly?
Georgie Kelly every day.
Yeah.
And Georgie Kelly's now at Carlisle.
Kelly.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
I can't believe we allowed Kelly to leave. We should have had him in the Coyote position.
If Coyote sees this, and I do agree, like it's not. We don't want to pull him down. He's a nice lad, but you've got to think about it from a fan's point of view. We're all annoyed at Hampshire for giving him a contract. It's actually Hampshire's error for giving him the contract. And whether he's getting 200 quid a week or 500 quid a week or whatever it might be, that money could have been used on someone else. And that's the frustration for me. So it's something to do with Coyote. Coyote's going to have a good career. Like, what is he on so far in his career? An average of 2K a week, let's say. That's good. So he's not going to care what we think when he's getting 2K a week. So I don't feel sorry for him too much.
He ain't going to be getting that for much longer.
No, he's not getting it now. No, he's not getting it now. But either he was getting 2K a week in his last contract that he was getting from Rotherham.
Parkgate and the Swan Inn don't pay that either. So I think Matt Hampshire wanted to play up top, two up top, and they were the only two strikers available. Also, it gave JJ an opportunity to prove his worth. Let's be fair, he won't get anywhere near in 2 or 3 weeks. That's a good point by Kelly.
Yeah,
to be fair.
That's true.
He did want to play the two, and they were the only two fit. So, but then again, it's kind of thrown Coyote under the bus because it kind of exposed him. I mean, that touch in the second half, mate, touched like a baby rhinoceros, mate. It was like, and to be fair, everybody goes on about Evan slagging players off. They asked him about that in the after-match presser, and he said, "I'd prefer not to comment on it." And it was very clear that he was angry with Coyote. But when he's given that opportunity, he needs to be angry at himself for picking him. And final one, the man.
This
well,
is what
it's
I was
not
just
final,
quickly going to say about that.
Go on, John.
Sorry. No, I think it's what Kelly's point is quite right, really, because so Matt's come out and openly said he wants to give him opportunities, and we've got a lot of unfit players. And if you're looking at that performance and saying, "There's your opportunity, son, take it with both hands, grasp it," you'd be wanting to see a bit more from him. And I don't think he's even showing to the manager now that he wants to take the opportunities given to him, if I'm honest.
People say Hampshire has a poor budget, but he wasted plenty on Keode, McGuckin, and a load of signings with poor injury records like Benson and Yearwood. Mate, whoever this B is, he's dropping bombs.
Great point.
Tonight. Again, another great comment.
Great point.
And then that you can't blame anybody else other than the manager. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the GOAT gets 7. So obviously Jordan Hugill, again, people are going on about how poor he was, forgetting about the defensive headers he won as well, and that he's in the graveyard shift. I don't think he was brilliant, but I don't think if you put Ronaldo up there, he'd be brilliant because the service is just non-existent. I mean, I would hate playing up front for that team. I can tell you now, if you put Jordan Hugill in a Cardiff team, he'd probably be top scorer in League One. I'm that confident he probably would. He just don't get any service. We don't play to his strengths. You've got the Pansy Powell playing Hollywood balls that go nowhere near him and end up in top row at stand. We've got Coyote playing alongside him with a touch like a baby rhinoceros. I mean, come on. What are you going to do? You've only got Dango that's going to play you a ball that can actually do something. But I think I won't even make the runs for half of these players because they just don't spot anything. It's just rubbish. I'd give Hugo probably a 6. I don't think he was great either. I'm not player FC.
That wasn't one of his better games, Hugo. Sorry, that wasn't one of his better games, Hugo. So he'd only get a 6. I know Hugo can be a lot better than that, to be fair. So yeah. I agree with you, Lee. Just a 6 for me.
Super. So, and then finally, we've got the melon himself. The absolute waste of space of a manager that we've got that is out of his depth. This man, Matty Amshaw, what you scoring him? Tactically inept. I'd put him on the. For me, I give him the same as what I give KOD. I give him a 1.
Well, I think we should do then, Lee. Let's all give a summary on where we are with Amshaw now. Then, like we were going to do.
The Rotherham Gaming 0. Would love you guys pick him if another Street. Would you guys pick him if the other Street? Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Hugo's done Hugo and Nombe are the two that should be playing.
Yeah. For me, it'd be Hugo and Nombe. And if I'd actually play with a 3, I'd play a Tete, Hugo, and Nombe. If I were playing, I'd play a 3 up front. But that's me. Romos, Matt Amshaw, manager of the month, calling it now. Adam, mate, there's a reason why Adam hasn't come on the live tonight. It's because he was defending Matt Amshaw like the other plonkers that defend him. I absolutely destroyed him on the live that last week, and he didn't want to face the music tonight. The guy is clueless. I know you want to big him up. I know you want him to do well, and so we want to be proven wrong. But the guy is just inept. I give him a 1. How many more chances do we give him, though? Yeah, Owen. How many more do we? Because the thing is, if you could see that Amshaw was trying to make a change, so he was changing his formation. He was trying everything he can do, but he didn't do it. So Big Boy gets a 1. He's Big Boy. And I told it at the beginning of the season, I hate to be proven wrong. I am usually right, and even when I'm wrong, I could have been right, so technically still makes me right. He's not good enough. He's a big boy. Evening, lads. Sorry I'm late. Matt, I'm sure a solid 9.7.
9 points.
Yeah. Hugo, fourth choice striker, wants the free come back from injury. Etete and Nombe starting 2. That's BG.
No.
Melon Man. His post
Melon Man.
always the same. Dull dishwater. He took a glass eye to sleep. John Blundell, fantastic. Yeah, totally agree. So we've got a couple of things to go. We're running over time, but obviously we've got a lot of people watching live. So if everybody's okay, we will continue. Yeah. Adam Leng, future is 370 is the future. That was Tom's favorite word, 370. Loves it. Yeah, it's a madness. So before we go to tweet of the weeks, that's what we're going to finish off with, and Mansfield predictions. I want to quickly do a quick thing like Bez was saying. So if we're saying Matt Amshaw out, who would you replace him with realistically? And I want people in the chat as well to give their comments on who they would replace Matt Hamshaw with. Now, don't give all the nonsense that this manager won't come, this manager won't come, because if the chairman gives the manager the right money and the right budget, people go to any club. It doesn't matter what club, what the position they're in. Money talks in football. The moolah talks. So if they've got the money, who are you bringing in? And I've already, before I've even started, got a warning. Paul Warne. He's going to end up getting sacked at MK Dons.
Keep over.
And he's messed up. So no for me, for Paul Warne. Bez, who about you before I go into comments? Because a few comments are coming in. So who would you replace him with? You've got.
So I've got I'll be honest, I've got 3 in total. One.
All
right. The one that I want then, right? The one that I want, and might be a little bit. So this manager's had a go at Rotherham as well, in the last year or two. The one that I want is Ian Evatt. He's not anyone. I want Ian Evatt.
Ian Evatt. Would you guys take Neil Harris?
The second one that I was going to pick was Joe Barton.
Joey Barton.
Neil Harris. Would anybody take Neil Harris?
I'd take Neil Harris, yeah. I would take Neil Harris, yeah.
Revel for me. Rotherham Gaming, Ruben Amaran. No, we want some realistic ones. Nuno, not realistic. This one is one I would consider, believe it or not. And I know Mansfield fans don't really like him, but Nigel Clough.
Yeah.
I think he's done an excellent job with little or no money there. Callum, Michael Duff or Grant McCann?
Well, Michael Duff's just gone to a club, hasn't he? That's why we can't get him. Because he was in random. He's literally just gone to a club now.
Go on, Turbo.
Robbie Savage.
Oh.
Yes, thank you. I was just thinking of him. Forest Green, right? Forest Green.
Robbie Savage.
Yeah.
He's at Forest Green. Yeah.
Great call. Great call, Tom. Gareth Ainsworth knows what you're getting. Hard work, guaranteed results, and players running their socks off. Don't care about the style if it goes in the net. Yeah, I mean, he's been linked before with us. So who would yours be, John? So we've got Bez. Who were yours, Bez?
Ian Evatt, I said.
Ian Evatt. What's yours, John?
He's just stole it right from me. He's just stole it. Savage, because he's doing a cracking job at Forest Green.
So mine would be, I would go with Gary Rowett.
Yeah, but he's at Oxford. He's not going to Rotherham.
I'd try and get him. They're only a small club, Oxford. They're in the
Championship. I love Gary Rowett. Like, I wanted Gary Rowett 3 or 4 times because he was out of a job And before we signed Liam Richardson, no, not Richardson, the one before Richardson, Gary Rowett, I was talking before.
Yeah.
The next one would break the internet, and it would be absolutely fantastic because all the caravans would disappear from Donny. Graham Alexander.
Yeah, I'd take him as well. Yeah. What it does show is when someone says to you, "Oh, you're going to get rid of Ramshaw, who are you going to bring in?" There's no one out there. There are absolutely loads of managers out there. Yeah, loads. Yeah.
It's a merry-go-round. Rotherham Gaming, Scott from Parkgate. Yeah, he'll probably do a better job.
That's correct.
Howard did turn the job down. He would have accepted the job, obviously, but again, the budget. That's what happened with the other guy that ended up going to Charlton. He were very close to coming to us. They would have been. And if we'd have got them two managers, we wouldn't be in the position we are now, 100%.
Well, we've got championship still, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
definitely.
So we'll quickly go through tweet of the week, and then we'll go on to Mansfield predictions. The numbers of live viewers are going up and up and up again. So thank you again for watching. If you can like and share and subscribe to us, that really does help us as well. So we're just going to go on to tweet of the week. So bear with me because I have done something here. So your faces will disappear in a minute, but you should be able to still hear me. So the first tweet of the week is from Callum. Can you still guys see that and hear me or not?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Yeah. So ever since then we have seen 6 different people in the dugout. If we include caretaker and interim manager, and since sacked 3 managers in the space of 22 months, we have made Watford look like amateurs. So Callum's basically is only a young lad. He's seen 6 different managers in the dugout. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
Whose tweet is this then, Lee?
Mine.
That is Callum _RUFC.
Go for it. And is it John? John, you said yours.
Yeah.
Go on, John.
No, I think he's got a really good, and I know we're just touching on who we would replace Hammy with. He's got a great point. I don't think, and I've said this a couple of times, I don't think right now if Hammy was to be sacked, it's going to change very much in the club. It's just going to be turnover, and then we're paying someone off, and then it's just a vicious cycle. But I just know we can't continue with Matt if I'm honest. So it's a sticky situation to be in.
So the next tweet of the week is from FTD Trader. So under Revel, we'd lose by actually going for games, not sitting back with as many defenders you could possibly fit into a team. I'm Revel in. What do we think of that, guys?
Well, I think I have to say this is one of the reasons why Hampshire, I think, is failing because he, number one, I don't think we're playing the way he wants us to play. I think, and I've said this before, he wanted us to play a certain style. When we lost those 2 friendly games, like 5 and 4-1 or whatever it were, he then changed his style because he was panicking. I honestly believe that, right? So when we do go 1 goal ahead, I think he's that desperate to get a result that he does sit us back. He wants us to defend, which obviously all knows the wrong thing to do. And that's one thing I think he's going to fail on. I mean, I just wish he'd do what he wanted to do as opposed to trying to do what fans want him to do or whatever it might be. I don't even know. Does Reveler play attacking football? I don't really know about that. I mean, if he does, then great. I don't know if he does, to be fair.
Tom, any thoughts on that one? We've got to pick a winner from these as well, by the way. So I'm going to ask you the winner at the end and we'll announce that.
Sorry, Lee. I just went to wrestle the Python, aka have a piss. What was the question again? I do apologise.
So it's tweet of the week, FTD Trader. Under Revel, we'd lose more by actually going for games, not sitting back with as many defenders as you could possibly fit into the team. He's Revel in for the next manager.
Yeah, look, Alex Ravel is a legend of this football club. He scored the greatest goal at Wembley. I was sat in the stadium. Well, sat when he fucking belted it. Look, there's no coincidence that he has worked really hard and got Stevenage up to where they need to be. I would take Alex Ravel right now, 100%. And look, I don't care about attacking football. I don't care about defensive football. I don't care about shit football. I care about results. At the end of the 95 minutes, whatever, if we've won, that's all I'm bothered about. It's Rotherham. We're not Barcelona. We're not Real Madrid. We're not Liverpool. We're not Man City. We're never going to play pretty football. Results is king, right? That's all I'm bothered about. If he gets his results, which I think he would, that's all I'm bothered about.
Next tweet of the week from Mark. Walked out as soon as Dawson did his usual. Can't fault anyone. That doesn't go anymore. The New York is minging and the players are disgraceful. Spend time with your mates in the pub instead of watching that lot. Shambles. RUFC. So that's Mark. RUFC 95.
This is the one that I kind of chose. And the reason I chose it is because, I'll be honest, it's how I felt. And I've already said on that when I saw Cody was on the team sheet, I didn't want to go. And then on my post-match, I said that I normally about to pull off that game and I just didn't want to. So the reason why I picked this one is because it is how I'm feeling as well. Now, there was a reply to this which said, well, you're not really being a true fan by doing that. And I do understand that. I do agree with that. But like I said, I wanted to raise this because it is honestly how I feel as well. And I'm only going to games at the minute because I'm going for a beer with my mates. That's the reason why I'm going at the minute.
Yeah, I've had this with my dad. So obviously my dad's saying that he's fed up with me being negative about the team. And he thinks should be more positive. But I just can't, I think with football, everybody's a right to an opinion. Whether you disagree with it or agree with it, that's the beauty of football. We should all be able to have opinions. But I think sometimes you've got to call out what you see. And when people are talking pony, tell them they're talking pony. If you think I'm talking pony, tell me I'm talking pony. But the fact is, it's my opinion. Whether you disagree with it, agree with it, it's still going to be my opinion. Doesn't make me any less of a fan than somebody that's been positive. Just because sometimes I think being positive when things are so bad is worse than actually being negative, because you're actually burying your head in the sand and it'll continue longer. I think at the minute, if you're going to football games at the New York Stadium and enjoying it, you have got a very, very sad life, because that football is not enjoyable. It really isn't.
So what would you say then, Lee, to someone who says, let's say you met the most positive person in the world, and they say, well, number one, at least you've got a football club where you can still go and watch, and there's no financial issues because they're on. The club's run from that point of view well. And number two, look at Sheffield Wednesday and look at the mess there, and at least not in that mess. What would you say back to that then?
So I'd say back to that is... that is irrelevant whether we've got a football club or we haven't got a football club. If Tony Stewart wasn't here, would we have a football club? Absolutely. Someone would buy it. It's an established football club. You don't see many clubs our size going to the wall. Like Sheffield Wednesday will not go to the wall. And everyone's saying, look at Sheffield Wednesday. They're still playing in a better league than us and still winning. Yeah. They won 2-0 at the weekend. We're not winning games. So I'd sooner be in Sheffield Wednesday's position right now in the Championship, fighting for survival, than fighting for survival in League One. Because, enough, I mean, and they've got a progressive manager. And actually, I've watched Sheffield Wednesday a couple of games, and they don't play bad football. We play absolutely honking football. So,
no, that's fair point.
Yeah, at all. So that's where I'd be with that one.
You say about buyers and...
Yeah, go on, John. Sorry. You there, John?
No, just quickly, like, obviously it's hard because we want the investment, we want buyers. But there's no. If we go to League Two, there's not going to be any investment or in buyers because nobody's going to want to buy Little Rotherham from League Two. There's going to be there's no comeback from League Two. There's no way back from League Two. If we go down that sinking ship in League Two, nobody will be bothering about buying us. Nobody.
My fear is we'll end up the same situation as we ended up with Ken Booth because we don't own the stadium. We've got no training ground. We've got no real assets anymore. So if he just turns around tomorrow and says, I've had enough, then we are in trouble, really, because he's not built a structure there that is worth taking on. Because what we'll be in the same situation. I remember us leaving Millmore to play at Don Valley because we were playing extortionate rent. We now pay extortionate rent at the New York Stadium. You look at the rent we're paying for that stadium. It's more than some Premiership teams are paying for their rent in the Premier League with all their income. So no wonder the club is not able to spend because the rent is so ridiculous. Why is it so high? If it's owned by the chairman's business or whatever it's done. Well, let me just kick that other one off. There we go.
Let's move on to next tweet then.
Next question. I'm not a Warren. So this is RU FC Miller 89. Not a Warren fan by any stretch. Don't want him back. But the downfall every experienced on and off the pitch since he left is quite something and needs looking at. Seems like it's not going to stop anytime soon. Do we think about that one?
Whose tweet was that one? Who was the one who requested that tweet?
RUFC Miller 89. I think it was Adam, but he's not on tonight.
Right.
Yeah. So next one, Harrison, RUFC, and please.
Yeah. I think that's just what we're all feeling into. Let's face it. I was very angry on Saturday evening, and I was desperate for Hanshaw to go. I was really praying that he would have got sacked on Sunday, and then when nothing came out, and there was obviously all that rumour about the club have removed the team photo and all that, and I was really praying that he was going to get sacked today, and he hasn't done. So that's how I'm feeling anyway. Just
hang on.
I think he'll be in charge on Saturday.
He will be now, yeah.
Kelly Four Bobs, hang on. Tom just said he doesn't care about bad football as long as we win. We don't know if we're going to win until 5 p.m. until I think he's going on about we're not winning football games because we're near the bottom of the league. I think we're in the bottom 4 now. Also, if we went down, more fans would vote with their feet. Attendances would take a further hit. Yeah, I said that, Callum, earlier. People aren't going to turn up. They're not turning up now in League One, so I don't think they're going to want to watch that one. Dill_LYD, just going to enjoy Dango while I can. What a footballer, head and shoulders above anybody on the pitch. I think we can all agree with that.
We've always covered that, haven't we, as well? Yeah.
Old, absolute footballer. Hiram, I've seen a Rotherham United side. I've never seen a Rotherham United side scared to compete in League One. I understand if we're in the Championship going down to Leeds or whatever, but in League One, it's unacceptable. We need a full culture shift at this club. I think that's an absolutely fantastic tweet.
Completely agree. 100%. We are turning into the Rotherham United in the Championship.
Yeah, that's what I said the other week. I said it the other week. So that we are now playing like we did when we was in the Championship against all them big clubs. We're going into it with an underdog mentality and a weak underbelly. And that's what I believe. And then the final tweet is James Wilson. It's unbelievable how under-resourced we are compared to not just our peers, but many in non-league. And if anything, those running the club want to reduce those resources further. James Wilson. That was one of mine that I thought was a really.
Well, I don't. He's on about the budgets though, because like to me, the budget we've got is still like top 10 in this league, isn't it?
No, I think he's talking of in general the running of the club, the academy, the academy, everything that goes with. I mean, the match day experience, everything is just poor at the minute. John,
sorry, do you know on Saturday, like before they'd run out of all hot food before our time on Saturday in my stand. Stand. That's ridiculous.
We're going to go on to the last one. Rumor is Amshaw has the next 3 games to shave his job. I believe that. He's got to be close now. If not. So from the tweets of the week, which one are we going with, guys, for the top one?
I'm sure. Fuck off.
Don't know what's we didn't see that one.
Oh, sorry, we hadn't done this one either. There's just one missing. Ed the Red. After yesterday's awful trip in the rain, I have to question why I keep going. Still playing previous managers, players who don't care, tactics nobody understands, a 6'4" goalkeeper who can't catch or punch, a manager who takes off both attackers when we need a goal. For me, that wins it. But I don't know about you guys.
I'm up for that one to win it. That's fine. Yeah.
Is everybody happy with that?
It summarises everything we've said as well.
Yeah.
It summarises everything we've said, doesn't it? So yeah.
I'm just trying to get Turbo back before. So the last bit, it brings us on to Mansfield Town. I mean, the viewing figures are through the roof. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Like I said, so on to the predictions for Mansfield before we wrap up, because obviously this has gone on a bit longer. I did structure it, but we got sidetracked again a little bit. So on to Mansfield at the weekend away. We've sold not many tickets to what we usually do. What are we going for? I'll start with you, Tom, because your internet keeps dropping out. So
I know. Sorry, Lee. It goes a bit mad. Right. So Mansfield away. This is a do or die game. If we do not win that game, he will be sacked. I've got.
You think you'll be sacked if we lose?
Yeah, 100%. But I think we will win 2-1.
Oh, 2-1.
Wow.
What's happening there? I normally I would say a defeat, and I am going to say a defeat still. But Tom makes a good point in that he's so under pressure, Hampshire, that we may just get a result out of it. That does happen. You sometimes go into a game thinking you're not going to win, and end up winning. Unfortunately, because tactically he's not very good, I'm still going with a defeat. I'm going for a 1-0 defeat because we're not scoring much. So I'm going for a 1-0 defeat.
John says 2-0 Mansfield. Another brilliant show, lads. Well done. Done themselves proud tonight. Loving hearing all the views from all of you. 2-1 away win at Mansfield. Hugel to score. Jonathan Sheard. Pete Scott 3-0 Rotherham. Owen 3-1 Mansfield. And Hampshire sacked. Tom put in 50p in the meter. Adam says you put in 50p in the meter, Tom.
Listen, I'll bow out, Lee, because he keeps going off for some bizarre reason.
We're nearly finished anyway, mate. Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Great show. Honestly, great show. It's going to go again. I do apologise. Up the Millers.
What's your score prediction quickly? What did you say the score?
2-1 us. If we lose that, he's gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Top
All
man.
the best, lads. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit. Testbridge UK 3-0 Mansfield. Callum 2-0 Mansfield. They then beat Bradford on the Sky cameras. 3-0 Rotherham. So what are you going to go, John? What are you saying?
So what I will say is, I think there's rumblings that the Mansfield fans aren't too happy with their manager neither. So I think this is a game of could be a do or die game for both teams, and I think Mansfield will win 3-1, and I think it'll be Matt Hamshaw. He won't make Thursday if we lose. 3-1 Mansfield.
Well, that is a good point, to be fair, John, because you're right. Like, I don't know why they've got an issue with their manager, because he's done wonders for them, but he is under pressure there. Yeah. And if you had two managers under pressure, unfortunately, you would back Nigel Clough. Sorry. Yeah. You'd back Nigel Clough over Matt Hamshaw any day, wouldn't you? So I do think that's a good find.
I'm going to go positive. I'm going to say we're going to win 2-1.
You go by any chance?
Eh?
Who's going to score by any chance?
Coyote to score.
Yeah.
Off his backside.
Yes,
will Coyote start the game? If not, will Coyote get off the bench? That's a question to you.
He may come off the bench. I don't think he'll start. I think Atite will maybe fit for that game. So I think Atite will probably start with Jordan Hugel, and I think both of them may score. Obviously, Hamshaw used to play for Mansfield, so it's a local derby. Sometimes the form and all this negativity goes out the window. Matt Hamshaw will ram our words down our throat, and we'll be all praising him next week. Because that's what I want. I don't actually go wanting us, like, I know some people do under Steve Evans. I don't actually go wanting us to lose the game. I don't want us to lose to Mansfield Town. I live in Nottingham now. Imagine losing to Mansfield. I've got friends that are Mansfield fans. I will never live it down. We can't be losing to little clubs like Mansfield. Yeah. We've lost to a little club like Stockport. We don't want to be doing the same to Mansfield. So I'm not going to predict us to lose. I'm not going to go wanting us to lose. I want us to win, and I think we can win, because I think this league is absolutely honking. So I don't think it'll be a shock if we go up there and beat them 2-0, 3-0, whatever, because it's a poor league. Anybody can beat anybody. So, Matt Hamshaw, this is a plea to you, right? Get that team set up to win. I don't want us to sit back. I don't want us to defend. I just want attack, attack, attack. And if we lose 5-4, I'll still praise you, because I just want to see my football team have the heart and drive and passion and think, actually, them lads on that pitch want to win that game. I don't mind losing sometimes when your team puts 100% in and you think, actually, we've got done there, we've got robbed. But I haven't come away from every game we've lost this season. I don't think we have an argument for we could have won it, we could have done. Yeah. I think they're just poor games that have just passed us by, and we haven't tried to win the game. So you can't moan that you haven't won the game if you don't try to win it. So I want us to try and win at Mansfield, and I want to cheer them on and say, we're going to do it. I am going to do a watch along for the Mansfield game as well. So if you haven't bought a ticket, where thousands of you haven't, you can come and watch it with me. And we'll have a great time. Make sure you've got plenty of blood pressure tablets and everything like that, because if we start losing, then obviously things can turn very sour very quick. But hopefully we're going to cheer on a win. I'm going to predict that. More chance of Millibare scoring at Mansfield than Coyote. To be fair, B, you've been spot on with your posts all night, and again, you are spot on. I can't fault you. I don't think Coyote will score, but I feel bad for slating my own players, and I don't really want to do that. it's just sometimes the passion comes out of you and it goes one way. The Sheriff should hopefully be back in town on Saturday. I think it's Everton are choosing that, aren't they? So I think it's Everton.
Yeah, today.
So we're going to wrap that up now.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you to everybody that's watched. Please like the video, share it, and subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe so then you don't miss any sort of content that would go out. We're doing quite well on sort of TikTok as well. So if you want to join us across there, we'll do some quite funny videos. Thank you to everybody in the comments for your comments. There's been some real good interaction there. And I think everybody's sort of singing on the same hymn sheet as us, because sometimes you watch certain people and certain things and you think, are people seeing a totally different game to us? I mean, what kind of moron wants your team to get relegated? I just don't get that. But some of these are sort of 110 years old and look like they've been dug up. So, you know what I mean? It's one of them. So thank you again for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. And we will be back on, Thursday. I'll be wearing a Leeds shirt. So that should be fun. Not. Thank you again. Thank you, Bez. And thank you, John. Great to have John back. We've missed him. Hopefully he's on soon. And Bez, I'm looking forward to your drive home after the Mansfield game on Aftermatch Reaction. That should be fun. Hopefully you're cheering a win this time and we've got a big, bright Alan Sugar smile. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
See you later. Bye.
Thank you.